Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted. As a matter of fact, Frankie, we are sitting at episode 324. Man, that's a long time. I can't believe we've been doing it this long. It's crazy to me. And all the different combinations of people that have come in, gone, come back, gone, and all the reunions. Just incredible to be at 324 on the episode count. I'm your boy Jay McLovin, and with me, as always, is my best brother from another mother, the guy who I am the god uncle to his children, and I'm so thankful for it. My boy Frankie C. What's up, baby?
Frankie's everybody, happy Saturday. I hope everybody had a great. I hope everybody had a great St. Patrick's Day yesterday. I hope everybody, drove home safe, didn't get in trouble with the law or anything like that. But yeah, man, I'm ready to get this show on the roll. Talk about some March Madness, some NFL free agency, and we're gonna give you guys a good show for the next hour. But yeah, Jay. Other than that, man, I'm actually a little bit upset. It was a good game last night between the Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. It was an amazing game, and the Lakers, they had the lead at the very end, and for some odd reason, we had a 2-point lead, and for some odd reason. Dallas go ahead and made the buzzer beater 3-point win basically for the Dallas Mavericks. And it wasn't even a Kyrie Irving or Luka Doncic that made the three. It was a big man named Maxey who made the damn three. And it just stressed me out last night. It really did.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. But I didn't want to, man. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go easy on Frankie today because the Lakers lost. But no, seriously, hey, what do we make now of Dallas, and what do we make now of LA in terms of the expectations you think once playoffs actually start?
Well, I don't know what's going on with LA. Dallas looks like a team that's probably gonna get eliminated quick in the playoffs, especially without Luka. Especially without Luka at the helm. I mean, obviously Luka's going to be back for playoffs and stuff, but if this team, the Dallas Mavericks team, continue to play like they have been the last couple of games, they're going to be a first-round exit. But for the Lakers, man, I don't know what's going on. We had a good hot streak going on a couple of days ago, and I feel like ever since we lost to the Knicks last week on Sunday, it just haven't been really good. We lost to the Knicks. We ended up beating the Pelicans, and then we lost to the Houston Rockets. Then we lose to the Dallas Mavericks. So, it's not looking good right now, and it's really slumping. That was a must-win yesterday, honestly, in my eyes. We have 11 games left in the season, and a couple of easy games on the way. But last night was the must-win against Dallas because that would have put us even in the series against Dallas 2-2. And now if we end up, having the same record at the end of the season, Dallas is going to have that advantage over us and have the higher seed than us. So it was a must win for us, and we just blew it at the very last second, and it just cost the Lakers a lot. I'm thinking, maybe they do miss LeBron, Jay. I don't know. Maybe they miss LeBron on the court, because if LeBron was on that court, I think everything would have been different. I mean, AD is doing everything he can. But AD's looking like he's getting a little bit tired trying to carry this team by himself.
And let's be honest, though, Frankie, AD has not played in quite some time, to be honest with you. And so I still think maybe his conditioning may not all the way be there to carry, like you said, to carry those many minutes and that kind of a thing. I just think that's a lot to ask from him. And you got to be careful too, because man, look, when he gets tired, he gets clumsy. When he gets clumsy, he gets injured. When he gets injured, he's is unavailable. And that's what kind of worries me with AD. You push him too far, and you're going to wind up losing him too. And I tell you, man, that game last night, y'all should have had that. I realized y'all didn't have James, but hell, they didn't have Doncic. I felt like that was kind of a match between Kyrie Irving versus AD and battle of the superstars. And I felt like the Lakers should have. That was your opportunity. And right now, you guys are sitting there tied with Utah, and it's literally 0.001 of a difference in the winning percentage. And that's why they got the Lakers are up over Utah. Utah is now in the 11th spot. You're in the 10th spot, but you're only in the 10th spot by literally 0.001. So if you lose a game, they win a game, obviously, that's the way it's going to go. So, I mean, you guys are right there. How much of a battle do you think it's going to be between now you and Utah?
It's going to be an absolute uphill battle. I mean, we don't only have Utah to worry about and to think about. We also got OKC to worry about. We also have the Trailblazers, who's just a couple of games behind. They can, turn it around and win a couple of games while the Lakers lose a couple of games. It's a real uphill battle over there in the Western Conference, especially just for the play-in part. Like I said, this was a must-win for the Lakers, and they just screwed it out of themselves at the very last second. Now it's more of we have to win these basically the rest of the games to even try and stay in the play-in.
Yeah, I agree, and I think there's going to be a lot to be said in terms of where you go left and where you go right. And we still don't know when your guys are getting James back. I think you think he's about a week out? I don't think you bring James back right now. I think you sit him until you get really close to the playoffs. But then again, that's my decision. The other side of that argument is, well, if we don't bring James in when he's ready, what if we don't make the playoffs? So, it's a catch-22 you're playing,
Yeah, and I did read something about LeBron James where LeBron James said he's trying to quickly rehab his foot injury so that way he can get onto the court and be able to play with these players, because he haven't had that much chance to play with D'Angelo Russell, Justin Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and everybody like that. So he wants to get on the court quickly to get a connection and get the feeling of playing with these guys before, or even if we get a chance to go into the playoffs, or even the play-ins to get a chance to go to the playoffs, where they don't have that miscommunication or that mischemistry or whatever like that. He wants to build a chemistry with these guys now to get them ready and get them get that connection for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what's going on with my Rockets. I keep telling those freaking guys to lose, that we got to get to the number one spot, and those bastards want to win. I don't understand it. We beat the Pelicans last night, and I'm like, no, that's not the direction I want you to go. Fuck. It's like
I understand. I understand. In your point, you want Houston to lose and get that, that number one pick if it even can happen. But still, Jay, I'm glad that your team won, because we needed you guys to win that game really badly. We needed that. But
you did need that though, for real.
When I seen that you guys beat them, hey Mel, how you doing? When I seen you guys beat the Pelicans and then we lost, it literally took so much out of me, Jay, to where at that point I just said, the hell with this Lakers team. They're making me literally, and this is me live right now that everybody can hear me. This Lakers team is making me slowly get really mad at the sport of basketball, to where I don't even want to watch basketball no more. And it's like, I don't want to switch teams. I'm not no team switch or nothing. It's just I don't want to watch basketball no more, because I'm tired of literally. I'm the only one that argues sports wise with everyone to try and be there for my team, but it's getting to a point where it's just no point in defending them anymore at all.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, I understand your frustration, because I feel like, once you guys, move on, eventually you're going to move on from AD, and eventually you're going to move on from James at some point. James obviously sooner than AD. And I feel like once those two guys are gone, unless they bring in the next big superstar, hey, calm yourself. Unless you bring in the next big superstar, are they going to go back to the Vlade Divac and Nick Van Exel days?
I honestly don't think so, Jay. To be honest with you, I like the way this chemistry is building between Schroeder, and Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. I like the way these three are playing on the court together. I like the way Justin Vanderbilt is playing defensively. He gets a couple blocks, he gets a couple rebounds. Malik Beasley, he's just taking so many threes where he's missing. He has good threes one day and he has shitty threes the next. I'm not liking that. To be honest with you, once we move on from AD and LeBron, I think we're going to go back to the Lakers that missed the playoffs 6 years in a row, and that was bottom of the NBA for those 6 years. I feel like that's what's going to happen. We're going to go to the bottom. We're going to go to the bottom of the barrel again, and everybody's just going to look at us as this isn't the Lakers team that we know, and it's going to take us some time to get back to where we are. To be honest with you, Jay, I'm looking at all these big people that are around these teams. I feel like they don't even want to play for the Lakers because of the way the Lakers are being run with the front office and everything like that. And I don't blame them. Nobody wants to go to a team that's not willing to compete for a championship, let alone compete to be in a playoff. It's mind blowing to me.
I get that, and again, look, here's the deal, Frankie. Nobody likes to be in last place. Nobody wants that. But sometimes, and I hate to say this, but sometimes, like where the Lakers are right now, they're in a no-win situation. They have very little draft capital. They got aging stars. You're sitting at a sub right now. You're a little bit under 500, but you're really you're kind of roughly you're basically a 500 team with Bron and AD. You just are right now. That's just the way it is, and that's really more due to availability than anything else, and that's just things you can't control. But I think at this point, the Lakers management has to understand at some point, look, this isn't working. We got a championship out of it. Great. Okay, we got our bubble championship, whatever. We'll log that in and we'll move on. But that's the problem. You got to move on. And I think the sooner they rip the Band-Aid off and get past the AD Bron era and get those draft picks somehow or another back, whatever you can from AD, whatever you can from LeBron, honestly, and you start stockpiling your draft picks, you start getting your cap space in order. It's almost like you got to reorganize your cap space and your draft capital in order to be able to move on forward, whatever that may be, whatever that may look like, via the lottery, things like that. You find your next guy, whatever, but it's like the Lakers need a reset. At this point, the Los Angeles Lakers need a reset. But the only way you can get a reset, in my opinion, Frankie, is by getting rid of Bron and AD, getting that draft capital back, getting your cap space back, and then you can move forward in a clear and concise direction. You know what I mean? Okay, Frankie, I think you might be muted, brother.
No, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, I know what you mean. It's pissing me off just to even think about it.
Well, it sucks, but you know what? Hey, that Lakers team, they'll get it together. It may take you a little bit, Frankie, but you'll get it together and you'll make a rebirth. I mean, it's the evolution of basketball sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Price says, if you move on from AD and LeBron, what player do you want to run your team? I don't know. And I don't even know if Frankie knows. I mean, I don't think anybody would know right now at this point. And I don't think you're going to go after Kyrie. I think you're going to have to look to the draft at this point. And I think the Lakers got to look at the draft at this point and try to get as many draft picks as you. If it was me, this is just me. But if it was me, I'm trading those guys. I'm trying to get whatever I can draft capital wise, and then I'm going to evaluate, the draft pool and see what's out there. And I'm going to try to rebuild organically rather than just through free agents. Because they've been doing a patchwork free agency for a long period of time now. And I think that you got to get away from that. Not that you don't use free agencies to pepper in with the draft picks, but I think this team needs to start to grow organically through the draft and then see what you have. But again, it's going to take time. It's going to be a slow process, man. Honestly, you can see what's going on with the Rockets right now. We got rid of everybody. Now we're having to go through it organically. And that's just the way it goes, man. And the Rockets are a mess too. Like I don't think Steve Silas is the right guy at the helm right now for what the Rockets are doing. I don't. I think they can get. There's other people out there that I think you can do a better job. I'm not a big Steve Silas fan. Like I would have loved to have gotten the guy that's over there that took over for Ime Udoka. What's that guy's name? The new Celtics coach Mazuka or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I would love to have gotten, somebody like that could come in with a fresh mind, a fresh idea, and take the Rockets to the next level. But I don't know, man. Let's see what goes on. Real quick, check us out on Twitter at Unscripted Guys. That's all one word, Unscripted Guys. Or on TikTok at Unscripted Sports, all one word. And in today's show, man, we're going to talk a little bit of women's history or women that just broke history and baseball today. We're going to talk NBA free agents or NFL free agency, the best free agents available. We're going to talk March Madness. We're going to talk World Baseball Classic. We got quite a good show. So that's kind of where we are today. So let me go on ahead and hit the ticker button and let's get it started. All right. Man, listen, Frankie. History has been broken. History has been broken in college Division I baseball. We had the first female ever to play for a Division I school in college baseball. Her name is Olivia Picardo. And Frankie, she's from the NYC, baby.
That's right.
She's from the NYC. That's your neck of the woods, man. Look, she's the first woman ever to play a Division I game. She actually played for Brown University. She came in on the 9th inning as a pinch hitter. She unfortunately grounded out, and they wound up losing the game 10-1. But again, man, first time ever. Matter of fact, the head coach for Brown University said that when Olivia came on as a walk-on, that she gave the most perfect walk-on tryout ever. Like, you couldn't put a better workout together. The girl stands at 5'7". She's 160 pounds soaking wet. She's got an 82-mile-an-hour fastball. She can be a pitcher and or an outfielder, so she can be multi-diverse there. In the 5 games that she played, Frankie, with the Women's International League, she played in 4 games. She batted 182. She's got an on-base percentage of 400 and a slugging of 364. So, although her numbers could be a little bit better on the batting average, this is her. She only had 4 plate appearances, so I'm not going to really hold too much against her because she doesn't have as much of a resume yet to build on. But Frankie, man, we're talking history, baby. History in the making. The first time ever a woman in Division I, man, and she's from the NYC.
I'm super happy for her. I mean, it's not every day we get to witness history, and especially this history where a female is getting acknowledged such for a high category Division I level of this, this sport. It's just amazing. Literally, like this she can actually change the face of baseball. She really can.
Yeah.
And it won't be long now to where we start seeing other people start looking at some of these female athletes and realize, okay, well, hey, she plays really good. Maybe this could be a change or something. And just for her to, be a woman to come out of the NYC of my home state, New York City, I couldn't be more happy. I'm really pleased. Normally we'll hear, Jay talk about all these athletes from Texas, being a homebred Texas guy. This time I finally get to, say something that's history making. A female from my home neck of the woods of New York City is making history at Division I baseball, man. I'm super happy, and I can't wait to watch this girl play. And it's going to be amazing to witness this.
Yeah, she also played her varsity baseball in Queens, New York, before she got brought into the women's national team. And then from the national team, that's when she did her walk-on at Brown. So she got her start out there in Queens is where she got her start, Frankie. And again, I want to point out, this is a great couple of years for females in the world of sports, really, honestly. If you want to remember, we had a girl play Division I football not long ago. Now we got our first woman in Division I baseball. We've also seen that one girl from who was it? There's that girl from the Liberty that just got her first shoe deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
Lady Mamba.
Yes. I mean, listen, guys, we're seeing history, man. Women are finally really getting the recognition, and this is just the beginning. I mean, we're at the ground. You're at the ground floor, Frankie. You're going to see in about 30 years from now, when your children are 30 years old, and you're probably like 60 or 70, whatever, and you're gonna be like, you know what, man? I remember when the first female ever played this sport, and both football, baseball. I remember when the first woman got her first shoe. Like, Frankie, all this stuff you're gonna be able to tell your kids about. You know what I mean? Like I remember when this all started, and that's how crazy that is, right? So think about that. Just let that
and not only. And I was gonna say, not only is it something I get to be able to tell my kids about in the future, this is an inspiration for my kids alone. I'm a father of 4 girls, everybody. Literally, I'm a father of 4 girls, and for something to happen like this can literally be an inspirational moment for every single one of my girls when they grow up and they start, actually realizing the sports of baseball, basketball, anything like that. And when they're sitting next to me watching these sports, knowing that there's just at least one female on a team, and I get to sit here and just watch the inspiration on my children's face to sit there and realize, hell, maybe I can do that. That could be me someday, Daddy. And I just sit here and be like, absolutely, honey, you can do this. If this woman can do it, you can do it. And that's something inspirational for all young females that want to become athletes in the future.
Man, hey, listen, Frankie. Hey, I might have to throw some dollars your way, man, because I know you're going to need all the money you can get when them 4 girls decide to get married and decide to go to college. Well, I'll tell you what. but maybe, Frankie, maybe they all get basketball or baseball scholarships, and then you're good to go. Never know.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Hey, my niece Avery, she might be the next WNBA person. I'll be like, yep, I know I'm getting some free damn tickets. Avery, by the way, man, I really do, man. I hope you, Gemma, the Mariah, Carson, I hope all y'all get those scholarships. That way I can come watch y'all play. And I will be there. Frankie, I promise you, if your kids make it to college, baseball, basketball, football, whatever it is they play, Uncle Jay gonna be in the stands. I promise you that. Uncle Jay gonna make an appearance now. Oh, hell yes. Lord Jesus.
Everybody's gonna be invited. Everybody's gonna come. And at that time in life, we're just gonna stop being fans of the people that we grew up watching. My daughters can literally go ahead and play. I'm watching right now Tennessee and St. Louis, and I'm just saying my daughters could go and actually be high caliber players for Tennessee.
Oh, absolutely.
Guess what, everybody? I'm not a fan of UConn or anything, Saratoga Orange, or I'm sorry, Syracuse Orange or anything like that. I will now be a Tennessee fan. That's all I know. And Jay won't be a Houston guy no more. You know what he'll be rocking? He'll be rocking that Tennessee Orange.
Man, listen, whatever them nieces rock, I'll rock right along with them. So, I mean, color orange is not my color wheel, but if they go to Tennessee, I guess I could adopt it. Hey, listen, folks, let's get into some March. Frankie, let's get some March Madness, man. Let's just cut the bullshit and let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right. We're gonna do some March Madness, then we'll go into some NFL. I mean, we're gonna be all over the place. But listen, Self is not. He's gonna miss his second game. He had a procedure done last week. He was having chest pains. They went there and put some stents in his heart, so he's gonna be out again this week as they play Arkansas. Wow, that's not a game that I would think that he would want to miss because that's going to be a huge game. By the way, Frankie, this is one of my upsets that I had picked. Was that I didn't think Purdue was going to go down at number 1, so I had Kansas being the first number 1 seed to go down. I had them going down to the season of Arkansas under the guidance of Self, but since he won't be there, now they're going to be under the guidance of Roberts. And if you know, Roberts did take over for Self for a few games in the regular season when Self was under investigation for basketball corruption. And when he was being investigated by the FBI, Roberts did take over and he did keep them winning. So And they did beat, in the first round, they beat Illinois. So, they're in good hands with Robert. He said they're not changing anything with the way they prepare. They're not changing anything about their routine. They're going to keep continuing mission as if Self was there. And they think they're going to take out Arkansas. And I got to be honest with you, Frankie. I think Arkansas grabs this one. I think Black and Smith, the 2 lottery picks that they got over there at the guard position, I think are going to be too much for Kansas. And I think you're going to see another number 1 team go down in this round, in that second round. So I think you see 2 number 1s out of contention, Frankie.
Surprised, yeah. I really would not be surprised. I mean, we've been seeing those low-level teams, those low-seeded teams, get amped up in the locker room, especially by their coach. We've seen it last night. And they come out trailblazing, and that's the momentum you want. That's the inspiration you want from your coach to believe in you, that you can do anything no matter what seed you're in, no matter what your record was. Once March Madness starts, everybody's 0-0. All right, you're 0-0, just like the playoffs for any other sport. So I wouldn't be surprised that another number 1 seed team goes down. I mean, this March Madness has already been as much madness that we've seen. What more madness can we get?
Oh yeah, it's and we're gonna get into that here in a minute. I got a whole section that's dedicated to just that. So before we get there, I want to talk about another coach. We talked about Coach Self and what he's going through. Now I want to kind of talk about Coach Rick Pitino. That obviously Iona lost to UConn, and so he was not able to move on. But Rick Pitino says he loves the program that he has built at Iona, and he feels that Iona is going to eventually continue to make that program greater and greater. And I think they're going to do bigger and bigger things. But now, with that being said, he is non-committal on his future as to whether or not he plays for Iona or another team, or if he just leaves basketball altogether. He's very non-committal. But we do know, Frankie, that before this game at Iona even played UConn, that there were rumors out there that other programs were interested in him. I will tell you, Texas Tech, St. John's, Georgetown, all have been linked to Rick Pitino long before this game versus UConn ever came into play. Now, I will tell you, I often wondered if this game, or I should say, if the teams being interested in Rick Pitino would have an effect on the players that are playing for Rick Pitino, because a lot of times, when you get those distractions, that could cause disharmony within your program, or it could cause chemistry issues because you're thinking about the coach leaving you and you're not focusing on what you need to be focusing on. So I'm wondering, do you think in any way that these rumors about him being linked to other teams, do you think that affected Iona in any way versus UConn, Frankie?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. And by the way, Jay, that game with Iona and UConn, that was over here in my area. That was in
nice.
Albany, New York, at the MVP Arena, where I will be going to see Monday Night Raw in a couple of months. But yeah, man, it was a really good game, and I don't think that got to them at any way or any point, because if I'm that coach and that your players seen it, that everybody's heard it because of rumor, you go in that locker room before a game and you tell your players, listen, don't believe in those rumors. I'm here with you guys now. They're not in the March Madness. We are. And I'm pretty sure that that's what the coach did in the locker room, to try and get that get that out of their heads and get that off their shoulders, to just, sit there and realize, hey, I'm with you guys. We're here now. Let's let's do something now. And I think even after the loss, he ended up in that locker room, and I'm pretty sure, any coach would do this. Yeah, you're being rumored to go elsewhere. But if I'm that coach, I'm sitting there with those boys and I'm telling them, listen, what we did this year was basically history making for our school. And I think with this group of boys that we got in this locker room right now, and what you guys showed out in that court, I'm gonna stick with you guys, for another year. We're gonna run this out for another year, and we're gonna come back next March to this madness and do better. And I think that's what he did, and that's the one thing you can do to shake off those rumors. But if those rumors are true, Jay, and he did say what he did say what he had to say in the locker room to try and get that off, and he does leave, maybe next year this does ruin these boys and these players' mindsets for next season. Because right now, you're in the March Madness and you're hearing the rumors, and it's a coach's job to get those rumors out of your boys' head. And the only way you can do that is by just telling them, don't listen to those rumors. I'm here with you now. But if March Madness is over for these boys, the basketball season is over for these boys, and I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves. But if he's looking around at these schools and he's looking around at the talent and he realizes that what he got right now is a better situation than what he can get in the future, if I'm him, I'm sticking around with these boys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rob Scott, what's up, baby? Yeah, we're going to be talking Purdue here, and that's going to be our next thing we're talking about. So just hang tight, Rob. We're going to work our way there. Yeah, Frankie, again, so the schools that have been linked to him, like we talked about, was Texas Tech, St. John's, and Georgetown. We all know that Patrick Ewing, unfortunately, was canned out of the job over there at Georgetown, so he had to move on from his alma mater. So at this point, if those are the three teams, which, I mean, those are three good teams that he could be linked to, which team do you think he's most like, if he does leave and go to another team, what of those three that we know that he's been linked to do you think he goes to? Where do you think he goes if he does?
If I'm him, I will go to St. John. I honestly would go to St. John just because St. John is a really good basketball program. They're a really good team. We honestly see them in the March Madness a lot. So I feel like he can grow a good success level with St. John's players and getting them further into the March Madness than what they're always in. Because Texas Tech, they're a good team as well, and so is Georgetown. Georgetown is a good team as well.
Yeah.
Their coaching was just horrible, and it's really, really odd for us to sit here and say Patrick Ewing, the alma mater of Georgetown, winning a championship in Georgetown himself. Yeah. He was horrible. The man was a horrible coach for your own school team. That's really sad to say about Patrick Ewing. So if I'm this coach and I see what Patrick Ewing, an NBA All-Star, NBA Hall of Famer, what he couldn't do with Georgetown, that's the one team I'm gonna scratch off. I'm not going to Georgetown. If it's me, I'm gonna have to go to St. Mary.
Yeah, the thing with me is I actually could see him going to Texas Tech, because I think they have a really good recruiting program already established there, and I think he goes in, I think he slides in there, and I think he takes that program and they just elevate to the next level. And then I think that would be a great spot for him, because then you're going up against the likes of Texas, who we know how ranked they are, Baylor, you know how well they play, and Houston. I mean, that would be, you talk about a 4-team competitive program out there in Texas and in their programs. I mean, that's just a great place to come from in terms of how well all the other programs are there. So it's almost like a Texas rivalry. One thing about Texas, we're very much a rivalry state. And so all those guys are rivalries, right? Texas, Houston, Baylor, Texas Tech, all those guys, Rice. I mean, all those guys, they're very competitive like that. So I think that would be great for Rick Pitino. St. John's, again, though, would be another really good program for him to go to. But I would love to see him go, honestly, mostly. I don't think he goes there because of what you just said, Frankie, but I would love to see Rick Pitino at Georgetown. Georgetown has kind of fallen off. Georgetown used to be way up. When John Thompson was there, Georgetown was up there. I mean, they were top dog. I mean, they were – and then it's like ever since Thompson has left, or towards the end of his tenure, Georgetown has just kind of gone down to the wasteland. And I would love to see that program out there in D.C. reemerge itself and come back to life. I mean, come on. What was it? Above the Rim? Wasn't that based off of Georgetown? Kyle, what is they trying to get over to Georgetown and be a Hoya? I think at the end of the game, you see Kyle hit the 3 at Georgetown. I mean, I would like to see that program get back to prominence, but I don't think Pitino at 70 years of age is going to want to go through all the heartache it's going to take to get Georgetown back to where it's at. And I think it's because of that I think he either goes Texas Tech, St. John's. but I am leaning towards. I think he goes Texas Tech just because of the interstate rivalry type thing that's there. But man, what a time to be alive, man. He says that it wasn't that the team was not affected by the rumors. That's what Rick Pitino said. But I can't help but think that maybe it was still in the back of their mind just a little bit. But let's move on to this Purdue situation, man. Frankie, we saw again. This is the second round of history that we've seen. This is the second time in tournament history. Let me say it again. This is the second time in tournament history that a number 16 took down a number 1. The last time it was done was when UMBC took down Virginia in the 2018 tourney. That was the last time that it was done. So great kudos to the Knights. Again, they were ranked 363 in the height category, and Purdue, believe it or not, was ranked number 1 in the height category. So Purdue definitely had the height advantage over a smaller team that they put out over there at FDR. But I will tell you, matter of fact, another point of history is the Knights were 23.5 underdogs. So this is the largest upset ever in NCAA history. There is no bigger upset than this specific game right here. That's how crazy this upset really was. The deck was definitely stacked against them. Purdue shot like hell. They went 5 of 25 at the 3-point line. So again, I always say you live and die by the 3. I don't care if you're the number 1 seed or if you're the number 16 seed. If you're not hitting your threes, you're not going to freaking win. And if the other team is feeling it and they're red hot, you're going to go down. And this is what happened. Now, I will say for Edey, the guy gave you 21 points and he gave you 15 rebounds, but he also, not him specifically, but the team as a whole gave you 15 turnovers. So if Purdue is turning the ball over 15 times, they're going 5 of 25 at the 3-point line, and the other team is on point. That's what happens, and that's what did happen. And the largest upset ever in NCAA history occurred last night. Frankie, can you believe this craziness?
Yeah, it's just real funny. I mean, this is 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row for Purdue, where you guys are high seed teams in your first round exits. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but if you're making a March Madness bracket and you had Purdue winning and going on to the next round, I don't know what the hell you've been thinking. I mean, we've witnessed Purdue lose to low seed team. We witnessed them lose to a 14 seed team. We witnessed them lose to a 13 seed team. And then we witnessed them losing to a 15 seed team, and now we just witnessed them losing to a 16 seed team. And mind you, Jay, before this game went on, the coach of the other team went out and said, "I want Purdue to watch this." He went out and he told his boys, "I believe in you, and I think we can beat them. Let's go out there and let's show them that we can beat them." And right before he said that, he said, "I want Purdue to see this." And that's funny that they ended up doing what exactly that coach had told them to do. They came out, they played hell of basketball, and they ended up knocking out the number 1 seed team in the March Madness, putting them to where. And I sent the picture to Jay and everybody in the group chat. The Purdue team ended up breaking their whiteboard in the locker room. That's how upset Purdue was. And I don't think it was because they lost to a 16 seed team. Jay, I think it's because they have lost 3 years in a row to low-ranking seeded teams while they're in the top 4.
Yeah, Billy, what's going on, my brother, man? Good to have you here with us today. He said that his bracket was busted. He had Virginia winning it all. What the F? And I was thinking I suck. You're not the only one. Trust me on this. Matter of fact, so Virginia lost to Furman, and Furman is actually getting their asses handed to them by San Diego State. Currently, it's 51-30. with 13:50 left in the second half. So Furman's getting their asses handed to them right now by San Diego State. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, and Frankie, I'm going to call you out on this one just for a little bit. You told me, you said, my bracket is perfect. I know there's no way in hell your bracket is perfect. Your bracket's been busted. You can't tell me your bracket's not been busted. By the way, Anthony Price says Arizona too. And we're going to get to that in a second. But, Frankie, I know your bracket's not. I know your bracket's busted. Everybody's bracket's busted.
Jay, I am part of that 0.003% people whose bracket is still perfection. All right? My bracket is still good. You don't need to worry about it. I'm gonna end up being the champion at the end of this. I mean, I didn't pick Purdue. I didn't pick Virginia. I didn't pick Duke. All of them to end up winning it all. I ended up saying actually it was going to be between Houston and Alabama, and I actually picked Alabama to win. But my bracket is still perfect. I picked Furman to win.
So you're telling me here that you picked Princeton to win that game. And I forgot who Princeton beat. Didn't Princeton take on who did they take? Arizona. I think wasn't it Princeton and Arizona, I think. Arizona. Yeah. So you're going to tell me that you picked number 15 Princeton over number 2 Arizona.
Jay, I picked 15 Princeton over Arizona. I picked number 16 Knights over Purdue. Jay, you don't just believe me, bro. My bracket is absolutely amazing right now. Okay, it's amazing right now.
Well, hey, Anthony Price, Rob Scott, Billy Buzz Smith. Yes or no? Do you believe that his bracket is? Do you believe that Frankie C's bracket is perfect? No, just put perfect or busted. Is Frankie C's bracket perfect or busted? Frankie, if that bracket's perfect, then God bless you, son, because you're the only son of a bitch out there that I know that would have had that shit still perfect. I got to be honest with you.
I like upsets, Jay. What can I say? I like upsets. And I don't care. And I don't care if these people think my bracket is perfect or busted. I don't give a damn. I don't care what they think. As long as I know my paper's right here in front of me as I'm watching Furman and San Diego.
Man. Hey, listen, I'll be honest with you, man. My bracket was on life support after round 1. I got busted quite a few times.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a person that likes upsets. I really do, and because I'm that person. And Jay, you know me very well. I'm that person that likes to talk.
Hey, Anthony Price said Frankie C. Screenshot it. Let's go.
I don't need a screenshot. You'll just wait at the end of it when March Madness is done, and I'm celebrating.
Hey, listen. I'm the one that says evidence speaks volumes.
No, listen. No, I'm gonna.
Hey, even Billy said screenshot it. Hey.
Listen. Listen. All right. Now, let me be real with you guys. All right. I'm gonna be real with you, Jay. I'm gonna be real with you too. And I've been saying this for a while that my bracket has been perfect 3 years in a row. I've been saying it for a while. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I have not made a March Madness bracket in a long time, and the reason why is because of situations like this. All right, I'll make a bracket to where my bracket will be shot after the first round, and I've learned a lesson never to do that. And I just do what I just do now, honestly, is as the game is going on, before the game starts, I sit here and my wife, she's my witness. I sit here, and the reason why she's my witness is because she's always upset because everything that's on my TV is always sports. But I was sitting here, I was sitting here, Jay, and Anthony Price and Billy. I sit here and I pick a team before the game goes, and then when the team that I pick wins, I do get mad at myself. I really do, because then I sit here and I'm like, damn, I should have filled out the goddamn bracket.
Or at the very least, I should have put some money down on that one.
Yeah, I should have put some money down on these games. I could have probably won so much money, because no lie, I sat here and I said Purdue's not winning. Purdue's not winning, because I looked at their recent histories of the last 2 seasons and seen that they lost to a 13 seed team and a 15 seed team. And I said nothing's going to change. Watch, Purdue's going to lose. And
right.
let alone they really did. I should have won money on that one.
Frankie, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because, hey, here's what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to go through some of the upsets real quick. We're not going to talk about it. I'm just going to tell you the upsets, and then we are going to pick today's games, me and you, okay? And we're going to see just where we go. Anthony Price says, I lost my bracket last year, but I still won because UNC won the final. Hey, look, that's all that matters, right? So as we saw earlier, Florida, number 13, Florida Atlantic, takes out the big, mighty Memphis of the AAC champions, 66-65. I thought that was a crazy good game. Number 16, as you know, FDR took out Purdue, 63-58. And then you got number 11, Pittsburgh. I thought that one was crazy. Took out number 6, Iowa State, 59-41. And that Iowa State shot the ball so damn bad that I'm really surprised it was that close. But, yeah, crazy. And then, of course, number 15, Princeton over number 2, Arizona, 59-55. And last but not least, number 10, Penn State took out my Texas Aggies. I say my Texas Aggies only because they're from Texas. Texas Aggies, 76-59. What a time to be alive, man. Today's games, though. Today, the game one could be kind of already telling, but we're going to give it anyway. Frankie, I'm going to go with San Diego State just because San Diego State's kicking the shit out of Furman. But if you want to take Furman off your bracket, go ahead. So who do you got, Furman or San Diego State?
Yeah, no, I picked San Diego right before this game started. I said San Diego State was going to win it.
Got you. Duly noted. Now, let's get to the ones that we don't know anything about right now. Duke versus Tennessee, and I said earlier that I like Tennessee, so I'm taking Tennessee. Who are you going to take in this one?
Well, Jay, I'm going to stick with my gun since I said it yesterday to Rob Scott. Duke's not making it all the way. I feel like Duke is going to lose today to Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee.
All right. Duly noted. And I already said earlier in the last show that I had Arkansas beating the crap out of Kansas, so I'm obviously going Arkansas and standing behind my word. I got Arkansas, Kansas. Who you taking, Frankie?
I mean, like I said, I like upsets. I just feel like this one is not going to be an upset for Arkansas. I feel like Arkansas had their upset last night, and that was it. They had their little upset, and I feel like Kansas will be too much for them. So with that one, I'm gonna have to go with Kansas. All
right, so I got you down for Kansas. Princeton versus Missouri. I'm riding the highway with Princeton, baby. Who you taking?
Yeah, Princeton is near my neck of the woods. You know, they're over there. I think it's Jersey or something like that. I'm gonna have to go with Princeton, man. I like the way Princeton is playing. I feel like they can still make a double upset two times in a row, and I'm gonna go with Princeton.
All right, now this is where it's gonna get a little crazy. We know that Houston has currently got Shed, who hyperextended his knee, not 100%. You know that we got Sasser over there with the groin issue, not 100%, but said he's going to play. Even though a lot of people are putting a lot of weight now for Auburn to take out Houston because of those injuries, I'm still going to rock with my boys out in H-Town. So I'm going with Houston. Frankie, is this where we go left? Are you going with Auburn or are you going to go Houston?
Well, it might be a little bit shocker to everybody, but I'm going with Houston. I said it at the very beginning. I want to see Alabama versus Houston go at it again. You know, they went at it in the regular season where it was a really good game. It was a really close game. Alabama ended up getting the win over Houston. And I feel like we're going to get another matchup of these two. But this time it's just going to be for more an important championship, and it's going to be for the March Madness title.
Yeah.
And I think Houston is going to rock it out today and get the W.
And I'll tell you, that big guy over there, Walker, for Houston, he's obviously another one of their big stars. I think this is where he really shines. I think this is where he shows just how much of a lottery pick he is. And I really expect Houston's forwards to really step up in this game. And I think they go big on them. And I think that's why they take out number 9, Auburn. The next game
And you say Houston lost their big man, high extended his knee and stuff like that, and somebody's got a groin injury. But we've seen Houston throughout the year of this season, even without their starters, their bench has been playing well as well. So I really
their bench has been playing extremely well.
Yeah, so I really think that these second man people that's going to take over the helm for some of these players, I think they'll still play fantastically well, honestly.
And people don't understand that, Frankie. I know Houston lost to Memphis, and it does look kind of bad on Houston, but people didn't understand that Sasser was dealing with issues injury-wise, and so even was Shed dealing with some injury-wise issues. And yes, they did lose that game, and I'm not making excuses. They lost. A loss is a loss, and that's what it is. But I'm telling you, that was not 100% Houston. And even against Northern Kentucky, that was not 100% Houston because Shed and Sasser both set out the second half, and people don't understand that. And they still got the game by about 6 or 7 points. So, and they relied heavily on, like I said, Robert Walker and the other guys. So, yeah, put some credit on Houston and their toughness and their bench.
And Jay, I don't think honestly, without that win, if Memphis would have lost against Houston that game, Memphis would not be in the March Madness. I think North Carolina would probably be in here.
I think you're right. No, I think you're right. I think because Memphis, and correct me if I'm wrong, Frank, but Memphis wasn't even ranked going into that game.
They weren't. They were a non-ranked team. They really were. And then getting that specific win over the number one ranked.
That's what propelled them into it.
Yeah, that's what put them into the March Madness.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you saw Florida Atlantic took out Memphis. I mean, that just kind of shows you where that team really is. Next game up, we got number 10 Penn State versus number 2 Texas. I ain't going against my boys in Texas, so I'm going to go Texas in this game. But again, Penn State came off a really good win over the Aggies at 76-59. So keep that in mind as well, Frankie. How do you see this unfold? Are you going Penn State or are you going to go Texas?
Well, listen, Jay, it's really rare that you'll hear me go to two Texas team, right? And it's going to continue.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard you go to a Texas team.
And it's going to continue to happen. You got me already picking Houston. There's no way in hell I'm picking the Texas Longhorn. I think Penn State's going to get an upset today.
All right, so I got you down for Penn State. And then we got number 7 Northwestern against number 1 UCLA. Man, I'm not going against UCLA. I'm gonna rock UCLA. I'm gonna rock that. Who you picking?
Yeah, I'm also going with UCLA. UCLA is a really dangerous team.
Yeah, I'm not going against UCLA. And obviously, you got the last game of this is number 8, and it's a night game. Number 8 Maryland versus number 1 Alabama. I'm gonna tell you right now, Frankie. I really hope I'm wrong when I say this. I'm gonna go Alabama. But my heart is praying that Maryland wins that damn game. So, but I'm going to go ahead, Frankie, if you don't mind. I'm gonna try to see if I can read your thoughts here real quick, and I'm going to say that you're going to go Bama.
Yeah, baby, Crimson Tide.
Yeah, trust me, that wasn't far of a mind read on my part. I promise you.
I said it since day one. Alabama is. They're going to be the champions at the end of it. And if they're not,
I just wanted to know. I wasn't trying to be rude and mind reading you. I just already knew what you were going to say, and I just wanted to see if my thoughts were as true. What a time to be alive, Frankie. Jeez, what a time to be alive, man. And because you actually have on your current bracket, you got Houston and Bama, correct?
Yep.
Let me pull something up. Okay.
I got Houston and Bama at the end of it.
Now I want to talk just for a moment. I'm going to segue. I didn't put this up there. I should have. I actually had this part of my opening, so I'm just going to pause real quick. I want to talk free agents just for a little bit, Frankie. But we're not going to do all the free. We're just going to do some key free agents, and I just want us to play "Where do you think they go?" game. Okay. So
yeah.
Obviously, we got Ezekiel Elliott that's out there as a running backs. Dallas released him. I'm going to say that Zeke will go to. I think Singletary is a free agent. I think Zeke's going to go to Buffalo. I'm going to put Zeke up there in Buffalo. Where do you think he goes, Frankie?
Yeah, I don't see Zeke coming to Buffalo. I do see him coming to the AFC East, and I think he's going to stay in the state of Texas. I see Ezekiel Elliott playing for the Houston Texans.
Oh, all right. Hey. I mean, the only reason I can't get behind that is because Pierce is there, and I don't know if they really want to, unless they're bringing him in just to give Pierce a break, maybe like a third down bruiser back to get over the goal line or something. Maybe that's why you would bring Zeke in. All right. Let's go to your next guy, Damian Harris. Oh God. I think Damian Harris resigns and stays with the Patriots. I don't think he leaves Patland. But where do you think he goes?
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna bring back Damian Harris after the Patriots went and signed Brian Johnson to back up Ramondre Stevenson. I honestly think that Damian Harris probably ends up with Tennessee and be the helpful backup to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and then I want to talk real quick. Singletary out there in Buffalo. If they, I can see him doing one or two things. Either A, he re-signs with Buff, or B, he goes down. And if he goes down, then I would see maybe because I know Deontay Foreman left. Maybe he goes to Carolina. No, Carolina brought in Sanders. He's not going to Carolina. Where would he go?
I got 3 teams for Devin Singletary.
Give me the 3 because I'm at a blank. Oh, maybe I'm at a blank. Give me Singletary. Where do you think Singletary goes?
So my number 1 team will probably be the Minnesota Vikings to back up Devin Cook.
That's not a bad spot to go to.
The number 2 team will possibly be the Dallas Cowboys to back up Tony Pollard. When Tony Pollard comes back from injury, he'll have him to back him up. But if he's going to start the season injured, I think Devin Singletary will start the season for the Dallas Cowboys. And that's if the Dallas Cowboys does not draft a running back. Because I agree with you. I think, learning a lot from you for the Cowboys, and I asked you many times who they might go if they draft a running back in the first round, then they probably won't go for Devin Singletary. But if I'm them, I think that the Dallas Cowboys will get him on a cheap deal. And then number 3 will possibly have to be the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are going to try and go after him just because Detroit tried to go for Miles Sanders as well, but instead they ended up getting David Montgomery. So I think, having Devin Singletary back up David Montgomery, that'll be a two good running back set for Detroit.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And then the last running back I wanted to talk about was Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt does one of 2 things. I think he either signs and stays on a deal with and be the backup to Chubb out there with the Browns, or if Dallas decides they're not going to take a running back and they want to go tight end or something like that to replace Dalton Schultz, then I could see the Dallas Cowboys taking a run on Kareem Hunt and having Kareem Hunt pair up with Tony Pollard. Because I see Kareem Hunt kind of like that bruiser back, like what Zeke was doing, or that change of pace like Zeke was doing. And I think they pair him up. And I think he pairs up nicely with Pollard, honestly. So that's where I got Kareem Hunt. I think he goes to Dallas. I think Dallas fills their running back position with Kareem Hunt. And then I think Dallas turns their attention to the tight end spot. And I think they get that fancy tight end, that good pass-catching tight end. Oh, I can't remember his name right hand, but in the draft. So I see them going tight end first round in the draft. I see them picking Kareem Hunt to replace Zeke, and then we keep on rolling. I think they bring in Bobby Wagner as a linebacker to hopefully help out over there. But that's kind of where I see that go. Where do you see Kareem Hunt going?
There's only 2 teams possible for me, and both teams sit in the city of Los Angeles and Inglewood. I can see Kareem Hunt playing for either the Los Angeles Rams or even the Los Angeles Chargers. If we all know that the Chargers have gave Austin Eckler the chance to look and seek for a trade for another team. If a team goes ahead and gets that trade for Austin Eckler, I can see Kareem Hunt going ahead and taking the helm for the Chargers, and I can see the Rams also bringing in Kareem Hunt to be that second force front for their running back.
All right, we're going to move on down real quick to receiver. There's only 3 wide receivers I want to take a look at. One is DJ Shark. I don't think Shark leaves the Lions. I don't. I think he resigns with the Lions. I don't think he goes anywhere. If he does go somewhere, I can see maybe Houston, because I think Houston is going to wind up trading or letting go of Brandon Cooks. So if I had him going anywhere, I'm going to say Houston. Or I could see maybe Indianapolis taking a ride with him because they still don't have a wide receiver 1 or anybody of true value. Now, I'm not saying the Sharks are a true number 1, but I do think he has value over the wide receivers that Indianapolis currently has. Frankie?
I'm hoping that the man re-signs with the Detroit Lions. He had a fantastic year last year with the Lions, and I feel like that'll be a good fit for him. But if he doesn't go back to Detroit, I think the one team that can probably pick him up, and you can call me wild if you want, Kansas City. They need somebody to take the helm of losing Juju Smith-Schuster. You got to get extra help for just Tyreek Hill as well, and you need Patrick Mahomes to throw it to somebody else. And I think that'll be a perfect fit for Andy Reid to go ahead and make a splash and bringing this guy in to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes, and that would be a dangerous thing.
Yeah, it would be. Honestly, it really would be. The next guy I want to talk about real quick is Adam Thielen. I think he could go to Indy because, like I said, Indy needs a wide receiver, and I think they could probably get maybe Thielen on a discounted deal. If he doesn't go to Indy, then I see him also, like you said, I think he goes maybe to Kansas City in search of that elusive title that he has not been able to get with Minnesota. And I think Thielen would be the shifty veteran that Patrick Mahomes could use in the slot or as a number 2. And I think you can pair up Thielen with Kadarius Tony Kelsey. I mean, I think that could be a hell of a combination over there.
Yeah, Adam Thielen is. I feel like he's still a great wide receiver, and everybody keeps looking at him all because of the injuries he had and the age that he's in. But everybody's forgetting that this man can haul in some balls and stuff like that. And me and Pride have been talking. We've been hoping that Bill Belichick can bring him in for at least a wide receiver 2 spot or even a wide receiver 3. But if that doesn't happen, Jay, I want to see this man go to the rival. I want to see him stay in the NFC North. I want to see him go against the Vikings 2 times in a row to just prove those guys wrong. And I want him to go to the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, that would be nice. And that would give Jordan Love that veteran wide receiver as well. So that would be very helpful probably in his development. So, yeah, I can see that. That's a really good spot. And then, of course, we got the all-essential OBJ. And I think that OBJ, as much as I'd like him to be a decoy out there in Dallas and working with Dak Prescott, I think ultimately he's going to go and he's going to hang out on that wish list, and he's going to join the Jets. Frankie?
And I'm glad you brought him up because I had breaking news about an hour ago when the show had started. I had breaking news on OBJ to where he said that he's just so confused from the teams that are giving him calls because he wants $20 million a year, but all that these teams are calling him and are trying to offer him is a total of $4 million. Teams are just offering this guy 1 year, $4 million contracts, and he's turning them down because he feels like his worth is $20 million. And I don't think, and I said this for a couple of shows now, not just here on Unscripted, but also on the Afternoon Blitz. And he's not worth that much money for a person that's been getting injured for so many times and missing so much time. And you just came off of a year where you didn't even play football. You should take any kind of money that you get right now. And if you prove them wrong to where you're still at your greatest, then that's where you restructure your contract for the next year and try and get a long-term deal with the $20 million if you want, or even maybe a little bit more depending on how well you play. But if a team goes ahead and is willing to give him his 20-year deal, that's insane to me. But for OBJ, I would love to see him to go to these three teams. One, my New England Patriots. I think he'll fit well, and I've said it for many times. I wouldn't mind having OBJ. I just don't want him on a 20-year deal, where we're just going to waste money and not have cap space for the following year. Number two, I could see him probably going to the New York Jets to side up with Aaron Rodgers when that time comes, and when that news breaks up that Aaron Rodgers is finally a Jet. I feel like he'll partner up with Aaron Rodgers there. And he said he wanted to be on a competitive team to win a Super Bowl. So I wouldn't be surprised that OBJ goes ahead and goes to Cincinnati. Cincinnati has not re-signed Tyler Boyd. I don't know if they're going to. And if they don't, it'll be a good fit for Cincinnati to try and get OBJ on a cheap deal to become your wide receiver 3, the same way Tyler was, and be next to T. Higgins, and also be next to this guy freaking,
Yeah. Well, I got to be honest with you, man. I always thought, I still think that there's no way in hell, man, they should move on from Boyd. I like Boyd. I think Boyd out there with the Bengals is that guy that when you need that 3rd and 6 or that 3rd and 7 or that 4th and 5 or whatever it is, crazy, he always gets those things. He's just so like that. And I think that he doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to the Bengals. And I think the Bengals would sorely miss Boyd if he wasn't there, honestly. Do you think the Titans are really going to move on from Henry? I think it's a 50-50. Honestly, I think it's 50-50. I think the Titans are looking most likely to probably maybe do a slight rebuild, not a full rebuild, but maybe a slight rebuild. And I think Henry could be a cap casualty in that rebuild. So unless he restructures, I can see them moving on from Henry.
I don't think Tennessee should move on from him. I think they just threw his name out into the trade market to ramp it up and see what they can get potentially, because Derrick Henry's still that guy. He's still he had an injury here and there, but that man is a king. He comes out of injury, he still looks like the guy that he was before his injury. So I think Tennessee sticks with him. They just want to see what they can get for him. They probably be looking for at least a first round, maybe even 2 first rounds, which to me will be mind blowing. But let's be realistic here, Jay. With running backs, it's to a point where at some point you have to look for a trade for them, because they're, look at Ezekiel Elliott, 6 years now he's released from the Cowboys. Christian McCaffrey, 4 years or 5 years with Carolina, now he's with San Francisco. It comes to a point where big name running backs end up going somewhere else. Leonard Fournette with the Jaguars went over to Tampa Bay. Now he's a free agent. There's so many.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. Yeah.
You don't expect a running back to be with a franchise for more than 4, maybe 5 years. Ezekiel Elliott did it for 6, and that's because he ended up getting big money contract within his 3rd year. So that's the only reason why Ezekiel Elliott did it. And I feel like if Jerry Jones would have never given him that much money at that time and just waited one more year to see that he was downgrading or decreasing from being what he was at, Jerry Jones would have had way more money in cap space this year than what he actually does have.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So CJ Gardner's a free. We haven't got there yet, so I'm gonna hold off on that one. We'll move on real quick to offensive linemen. I'm not gonna, like I said, correction, tight ends. Dalton Schultz is really the only tight end we're gonna talk about. I got to be honest with you, Frankie, man. I think if he doesn't re-sign with Dallas, I think he winds up out there with the Chargers.
That's actually not bad, because you'll have Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and then Dalton Schultz. That really would not be that bad.
No, it would not be. And it puts him back there, obviously, with Kellen Moore. And he would be a great short yardage or a guy that can stretch the field for Herbert, making it easier for the other wideouts to get what they need to get. So I think Herbert would be huge out there with the Chargers, to be honest with you.
Yeah. For me, if it's Dalton Schultz, honestly, and I'm going to be pissed to say this, and I really don't like to say this because I really don't want it to happen, and I hope it doesn't happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami Dolphins go out and snag Dalton Schultz. They just lost Mike Gesicki. they need another tight end to to run that 1-2. They have a good young tight end that took over for Mike Gesicki, but I feel like Dalton Schultz can fill in that role that Mike Gesicki had for them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Miami Dolphins go ahead and make a splash by bringing him in.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, offensive tackles, pretty lukewarm. Not really a whole lot really out there. You got Donovan Smith, but he was kind of fading, in my opinion, out there with the Bucs. You got Luwan, but he's a lot older, from the Titans. And then you got George Fant, who, in my opinion, is kind of a dry person. But everything after that is just, bullshit tackles. So there's really not a whole lot in the way of offensive tackles to really talk about there. If you look at the guards and centers, you do have Suamalo out there with the Eagles. And then, of course, you got Connor McGovern, but Connor McGovern just signed with the Jets, so I don't know why he's on that list. Elijah Wilkinson and then Schofield. Honestly, again, there's not really a whole lot in the way of offensive linemen via free agency. I think the draft would be your best spot if somebody's looking to add an offensive lineman. What do you think, Frankie?
I'm not really a big fan of offensive linemen. As long as you're a good name and you're protecting your quarterback well, it really don't matter to me. The Patriots, I'm not going to say the Patriots, grab anybody, because before we started getting big name players like Juju and Mike Gesicki and stuff like that, the Patriots have been signing nothing but tackles and linemen and stuff like that. So, it really doesn't matter to me where these linemen go. As long as you're good enough to protect your quarterback, congratulations on getting a job. Dallas though could use some linemen. They've been losing linemen left and right.
Yeah, no, trust me. I'm already tracking that. But I would much rather see Dallas in this with this group that's out there right now. If you want to go after the top ones in those categories on medium deals, okay deals, not great deals, I'm okay with that. I would much rather see them actually address it in the draft. Where I think you get that same caliber type a player, but at a much cheaper price. And you can develop if they do decide to go that route. Moving on real quick to edge rushers. There's really not a whole lot out there for edge rushers. The biggest name on the list is Jadeveon Clowney. The second biggest one is Calais Campbell out of the Ravens. And then you got Bud Dupree with the Titans. Everything else is just whatever. Quite honestly, I think the only name I really want to talk about, though, on this list is Jadeveon Clowney. And I don't think he leaves the Browns. I think he stays with the Browns. I don't think – Jadeveon is really – when he first came out with the combine, I thought this guy was going to be the next biggest thing ever in life at that position. And it just never really came to be for him. He had injuries and in my opinion, not a good work ethic. It just never really, panned out for Jadeveon. But again, he is still kind of a big name, but I think he stays out there in Cleveland. Do you see him moving on opposite of Jason Garrett?
I do see that happening, because if Jadeveon Clowney was to go to Cleveland, they would have, re-signed him. I think Jadeveon Clowney just didn't re-sign with them because he's probably not getting a good luxury deal that he wants, and that's too bad. Jadeveon Clowney hasn't been the same since he got hurt or since he left Houston. But I don't think he returns to Cleveland. I think Jadeveon Clowney goes to another team, and I think that team will probably be the Chargers, and I see him going up with, teaming up with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. I think that those three combinations together will fit really well. You can move Khalil Mack a little bit in, probably to a tackle spot, and then have Jadeveon run edge. And it'll be just scary for the Chargers to have that three dynamic people on the line of defense.
Yeah, and then the next positional group would have been the defensive tackles, but there's nobody worth a damn in this group. Wormley, Tonga, Harris, Ioannidis, however you say that guy's name from the Panthers. And then you got Hicks and Sue. And I think Hicks and Sue have aged themselves out of the league. So really nobody would give a damn in the defensive tackles. If you're looking for a defensive tackle, you're better off just looking at the damn draft to try to make that happen. Linebackers, really the only one that I see is of really true worth is Bobby Wagner. You do have Denzel Perryman in there for the Raiders. Another big name would have been Kyle Van Noy, but I'm not a big Van Noy person. I know he was your boys out there with the Patriots, but clearly they moved on from him. I got Anthony Barr from the Cowboys in there, but I'm not really – Anthony Barr hasn't really done too much for the Cowboys in a long time, so I'm okay with them letting go of Anthony Barr and bringing in Bobby Wagner, to be honest with you, in place of Anthony Barr. So I would have Wagner moving on. I think Wagner moves on to the Cowboys, to be honest with you. Where do you see him going, Frankie?
Oh, man, I tell you what, whoever picks this guy up is going to be lucky. I mean, Bobby Wagner is still a good player. He's still a fantastic person, and I think he can, produce well on the field. I wouldn't mind seeing the Dallas Cowboys go for him because the Dallas Cowboys have been, letting go players left and right, like I said, not just offensively but also defensively. I mean, they've been losing a lot of players. So I can see him going to the Cowboys, but I can also – and honestly, I can also see this man going to the Bengals. The Bengals are a really tough competitive team, and if the Bengals know that they're missing that one key player on the defense that will change them to even compete with Kansas City, we already know that they can beat Buffalo or even compete with Jacksonville Jaguars. Because Jacksonville's starting to look scary as well, adding in Calvin Ridley now, who got reinstated. Jacksonville looks like they can, start being the next level team to take over the AFC as well. But if you want to be more competitive with Kansas City, and we all know Joe Burrow is 3-1 against Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. The only loss coming to last year's AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. I think Bobby Wagner, adding him into that defense, it will change a lot of perspective for Cincinnati to compete against Kansas City and hopefully making another run at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the next group I want to move on to is the cornerbacks. Anthony Brown is the top of the list. He's obviously a Cowboys wide cornerback, but since they brought in Gilmore, that makes basically Anthony Brown expendable. So I see Anthony Brown moving on. Where does he move on to? I know maybe could he go to the Eagles? I know they let go of Darius Slay. Actually they brought back Darius Slay. I forgot that was a big whole conflab with Darius Slay. But I don't know, man. Hey, Chiefs. I always said the secondary of the Chiefs, is always a team that needs improvement. Maybe the Texans. The Texans are always D'Amico Ryans is still down there working magic with this defense. Maybe they could use a cornerback of his caliber. The next one underneath him is Marcus Peters for the Ravens. That guy's like a hit or miss. He's either going to hit or he's going to miss big time. So I think he stays but I do think he stays with the Ravens. I don't think he leaves the Ravens. Everybody else from that on back is just nothing more than depth. Just trying to add depth to your team. So I don't give a damn about them. Really, Peters and Brown are the only two that I think are worth a damn in this specific free agent class. Where do you think Brown goes?
Jay, I think Brown ends up with Tennessee, and the reason why is because Tennessee is looking to move on from Kevin Byard, and he's an all-time Pro Bowl safety. I mean, I understand he's a safety, but let's be real here. We've seen players switch positions and stuff, and it wouldn't be bad for Tennessee to grab one of your top veteran corners right now and move him back to the safety position. And I think Brown can come in and take over corner for Tennessee while they move on from someone else to take over the helm of Bird to become the safety.
Yeah, absolutely. And then speaking of safeties, that's the last category I wanted to touch on, and then we're going to get out of here for today. There's really only two, honestly, in the draft that really makes sense to me. Everybody else is just kind of gap fillers or whatever until you can find something. And that's Taylor Rapp. With the Rams, I think he was knocking on the door last year of being special, even maybe borderline elite. And then you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles. We all know what C.J. Gardner-Johnson means to the Eagles in that secondary. Hopefully the Eagles can re-sign him back. But if not, oh, man, I think the door in the entire league is open to bring in a C.J. Garner. Everybody from, the Texans to the Chiefs to maybe the Browns. I mean, there's a plethora of places he could go to. If the Lions want to keep upgrading that defense, they already know they got Looks like in the draft it should be to find Okuda's side mate. Maybe they bring him in. That's Garner Johnson to be the battery mate at the safety spot over there. And that secondary would just be incredible to complement Aiden Hutchinson and company. So I can see maybe him even going to Detroit. Where do you think Garner Johnson goes?
I could see Garner going back to Philly if Philly can make some money, extra money, because they don't have that much cap space. Losing a lot of money to bring in AJ Brown and all the defense that they had last year, wasting money on Ndamukong Smith, or I'm sorry, Ndamukong Suh. I feel like they should get a cheap money deal and bring in Gardner back. For the other guy, Tyler Rapp, there was rumors from New England that he actually came in for a visit yesterday to meet with the team and speak with the team. We do need a good safety after the retirement of my boy Devin McCourty. I feel like Tyler Rapp should be a good fit with New England system. We all know Bill Belichick's being a great-minded coach, and the defense is being taken care of by his son Steve and Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be a perfect fit in the New England system. So I would love to see Tyler Rapp come in and be the safety for the New England Patriots. But I think Gardner was going to re-sign with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think Gardner does re-sign with the Eagles. And you're right, man. Rapp over there in England would give you a legitimate safety over there, chaperoning those corners. I'm telling you, man. Either way, man, I think, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I did want to touch real quick on the World Baseball Classic. As you know, Puerto Rico was eliminated yesterday. Am I right? He was limited. Were they limited or are they still in it? Because I looked on some of the schedules, and I didn't see Puerto Rico scheduled to play anybody in the quarterfinals.
Jay, it was a really hurtful moment, not just for me, but for my family, for our stay in our island. It was really hurtful that we got to sit here. We got to beat Dominican Republic. We had we got to say on Dominican Republic, and we thought we were going to come in here and beat Mexico. We actually were beating Mexico. We were up 4-0 in the first inning. 4-0 in the first inning, and we slowly just let Mexico come back and took the 5-4 win. We had 2 runners on base, first and second, with 2 outs. And then next we lost it, man. We lost it on a strike with a guy just looking. No swing, no nothing.
Yeah.
The man stood in the box. He looked froze. He looked like he couldn't swing the bat, and he just stood there and looked at the ball go right by him, and it was sad, man. I looked at my wife, and she's over here like, I stood up. I stood up, and I'm watching the TV, and I'm hoping that Puerto Rico will do something because we were looking like we could do something. And my wife went and was taking care of the kids. She comes back out, and she just sees me just pissed off. She's like, "What's the matter?" And I'm just like, "I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk to me for the next 20, 30 minutes. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. We're not going to say nothing. Just be quiet." I banned tacos from my house for a good month. I'm pissed off, Jay.
Man, if I brought a tostada to your house, you would probably kick my ass.
I'm pissed off. I want no fajitas. I want no tacos.
Oh, damn, because I do love a good fajita.
I know you do. That's why I said I don't want nothing. I don't want no Mexican product in my house. I hate Mexico right now. I'm not gonna say I hate Mexicans because that's way too much. I just hate Mexico right now. I really do. And you got my family over there congratulating them. There's nothing to congratulate them about. The hell with Mexico? Fuck Mexico. Excuse my language, but fuck Mexico. We had a 4-0 lead. A 4-0 lead, Jay. This was the game that we were supposed to win for our boy Edwin Diaz. And I say our boy as a state of
Oh no, I understand. Yeah, absolutely.
As a state of Puerto Rico, that was for our boy, and we were to get the win for him to go up and face Japan, one of the best teams in this World Baseball Classics. Japan. We had a shot, and I wanted that to happen because at the end of it, I wanted to see USA versus Puerto Rico again, to where I couldn't get mad of who wins and who loses. Now I'm fucking pissed, Jay, because all I have to do now is ride with the team of USA. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to ride with 2 people at the end, and now I'm only riding with 1 because goddamn Mexico thinks that they play good baseball. Goddamn, why are they even in this goddamn World Baseball Classic? Shouldn't they be in the FIFA World Cup alone?
Hey, listen. Hey, I understand everything what you're saying. Trust me. I mean, I don't know what I feel. I don't know what I feel more pain for: the state of Puerto Rico in their team, or the Mets themselves, because the Mets literally just lost their closer for the season. Now they got to figure out what are they going to do.
I don't care about that. I don't give two shits about that. Too bad for the goddamn Mets. I'm just pissed that Puerto Rico did not beat Mexico. Goddamn Mexico. When did they start looking good in baseball? They've never made it this far in the World Baseball Classics, Jay.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? For you, Edwin Diaz.
I'm just saying, man. Hey, that's an ode to Timmy Trumpet and an ode to Edwin Diaz. God rest your soul, my young brother. You're gonna have to go down to the Bahamas, pitch out a really nice cabana, get you a really good massage therapist, get you a really good personal trainer or physical trainer to help you PT that thing back into where it needs to go, because you need to relax, Edwin Diaz. It's been a rough outing for you. I wish you all the best, but quite honestly, no offense, Edwin, but hey, the Mets are looking rough. I didn't want to face you in the Mets. I ain't gonna lie. Damn, that team was looking rough, boy. Edwin Diaz, God rest your soul. Now, let's move on, please, if we can, to the Americas who play tonight. Bro, tonight we get a lot of good sports. I mean, listen, you get all of March Madness today. By the way, Duke and Tennessee are getting ready to kick off here in any minute now. San Diego State did knock out Furman. No surprise there. But we do get Tennessee and Duke here in just a few moments. But, bro, we get USA versus Venezuela at 7 o'clock tonight, Frankie.
Yeah, I can't wait. I really cannot wait. I really want USA to win. If Venezuela ends up beating USA, I'm going to be the most pissed off person because I'm not ready. I'm not ready for baseball, Jay. I'm not ready for the regular season yet. There's so many Yankee players that are still dealing with injuries right now. We're not ready for the start of the season. I mean, it's good. You know, it kind of looks like the Astros where they started off the season with injuries and stuff, and it's good for us to, start off the season on injuries and not end with injuries.
Absolutely.
It sucks, man. It pissed me on. I'm not ready. USA better do something tonight. USA,
bro. Tonight's game, Frankie, I gotta tell you, man. Look, I'm not there, but I gotta imagine if I'm in that stadium and USA is getting ready to face off versus Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela's coming in; they're red hot. They're 4-0. They're looking beastly. America's coming in with question marks at pitching staff. We don't know how we're gonna pitch, but yet, God, the electricity of it all. If USA beats Venezuela on, let's just say, some lackluster pitching that we have, how crazy are we set up then to look forward to the bigger giants, like, Japan, for example, or like you said, Mexico, for example. I mean, there's bigger things out there that are getting ready to come down the USA pipeline.
Well, Jay, the one loss that USA did get was against Mexico. So, I mean,
I know. Oh, God, we need that revenge game so bad.
We do need that revenge game really bad.
Bro.
And say it, that we beat Mexico. But before we do anything, we need to go through this 4-0 Venezuela. Then we need to go through this 5-0 Cuba, because Cuba's also looking deadly and they're looking dangerous. But you know what, damn, we are the U.S. of A., the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let's go, USA. Let's get this win, baby.
I got to be honest with you. Had we been opposite, had we been eliminated and Puerto Rico would have been in there, I would have put my full support behind Puerto Rico. I would. Because they're the next closest. They are a U.S. territory. So if my USA is not there, I'm going to go with the USA territory, and that is Puerto Rico.
Wepa!
Rico suave. All right, folks. Let's get to some final thoughts, and we're going to go watch some Duke, Tennessee. Frankie, final thoughts, baby.
I don't got much final thoughts, man. Only thing I got to say is the hell with the Lakers. The hell with Mexico. Let's go Team USA. and let's go New England, man. Let's keep making some signings. I understand it's the weekend and stuff like that, but let's get some signings going. Let's go. Bring in some players. D-Hop. D-Hop is still in Arizona, damn it. We're 1 week in, and D-Hop is still in Arizona. Why?
Yeah, that's a good question. My final thoughts, just to piggyback off what Frankie's saying, my final thoughts are, again, major shout out to Miss Picardo, Olivia Picardo, for her accomplishments and breaking into Division I baseball with Brown University. I wish you nothing but continued success. You are representing the NYC, specifically Queens, out there in New York. So, continue to represent your state, your neighborhood, and your gender, honestly. And then hopefully more women will be attracted to basketball, baseball, whatever sport they like, and get more attention to that gender as they need it. Again, man, much love to all of the guys who commented on today's show. I appreciate it. Anthony Price, Billy Buzz and company, man. Rob Scott, man, appreciate you checking in on us. Again, check us out on TikTok at Unscripted Sports, all one word, and Twitter at Unscripted Guys, all one word. Frankie does a hell of a good job, and Logan does a hell of a good job keeping our sites up to date on the most current stuff. I think you'll be pleased with what we put out over there. And again, man, hey, Frankie, man, much love, man. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And give them girls a hug and a kiss for me and Mel. And until next time, man, it's your boys, Jay McLovin, Frankie C, Logan Landers, who couldn't be with us, and Gonzo on Gonzo Sports Room. By the way, I'm going to do a shout out for Gonzo. He's doing a wrestling event. So if you want to go over to Gonzo's Wrestling Room or Gonzo's Sports Room, I'm pretty sure you can pick up the link for his wrestling, his independent wrestling that he'll have later on this evening. All right. We will see you guys Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Y'all be good. We're outie.